Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, it's Randall Armstrong and your host, Mr. Rourke. Welcome to Fantasy Island.
The plane.
So today, you probably all know where it's Randall, and he hasn't seen Once Upon a Time in America.
When did this movie come out?
I mean, Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I keep saying America. Once Upon a Time in the Old West. God damn it. Anyway, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. When did it come out? I don't know. 5 years ago?
Okay.
Something like that. Enough time for everybody to get all excited about the Cliff Booth character. Is that his name? I don't remember.
Yeah, Cliff Booth. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did all kinds of funny posters, and QT himself wrote a novel, a novelization of the screenplay, but it's just full of all this backstory that he knows.
Yeah.
So he tells exactly what happens to Cliff's wife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's very similar to the Robert Wagner, Christopher Walken, Natalie Wood thing. Do you know about that?
Vaguely, yeah.
Basically, they all went out on a boat, and Natalie Wood didn't make it back.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, "Oh, well, what a horrible accident!" But there was all kinds of
Speculation,
crazy conspiracy stuff, And
Yeah.
so it's he used kind of that sort of thing as a jumping off point, and it's kind of funny when you watch the movie because people my age are like, first of all, people my age, oh my god, that movie
back in my day.
It's so good because I wasn't living in LA and I had nothing to do with the Manson family, but I remember the late 60s very well, and fuck me if that just didn't look like he had a time machine.
Yeah. Oh
He-
yeah.
He did some practical stuff like of the streets in LA. They just changed it to 60s like level stuff and then changed it back. I was like, man,
It had me questioning like the road signs. Like, how long have the road signs been that green and white? That look. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean that seems easily Googleable, right? That's
Sure.
But the green and white signs are it's been a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So this isn't me. I've seen that movie like 6 or 8 times. So and everybody's seen the memes, right?
Oh yeah.
So of like what I was doing is that bit where god damn it, what's Leonardo DiCaprio's character?
His character's name?
Yeah.
Rick Dalton. You should know Dalton.
Yeah, exactly. Dalton, right? They're probably related, right?
Yeah,
maybe that's why everybody thinks Patrick Stewart is famous, is because he's the brother of Leo's character or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love that movie because I was a young boy, 6, 7, 8 around then, and my mom was really into true crime.
Yeah.
And so she wouldn't shut up about Helter Skelter. There was a book about the Charles Manson movie called the Charles Manson family.
Yeah.
Called Helter Skelter, and she was a big fan of the Beatles, so I knew the song. And she had the paperback, and we had a pretty good library. And my parents were really into they would buy me any book I wanted to read as long as I was reading. And so nothing was off limits. I would read the craziest ass shit. It's wildly inappropriate for my age, but I super loved it, right? Because I thought I was getting in on stuff. Yeah. So like I read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea when I was 6 years old. That was the first like real adult book I ever read.
Yeah.
And man, I went back to that when my kid was, I don't know, 6 or 8 or 10 or something. And he asked me what my favorite book was. And I said, Moby Dick. Absolutely. It's the best Star Trek episode ever. Yeah. And he goes, all right, besides Moby Dick, what's your favorite book? And I was like, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's the best sci-fi thing ever. And he's like,
yeah.
I talked to him about, like, I loved Jacques Cousteau at the time, and we had subscription to National Geographic, so every issue had something about the undersea world of Jacques Cousteau, right?
Nice.
So I was like wildly into 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. But when he was a kid, I was like, well, I got him a copy, and I was like, maybe you'd like to read this. And on the way home, I was on the bus, and so I was just reading it, and I was like, how did I make heads or tails out of this book when I was a kid? Because it's written for adults in kind of old-timey language. And
You know,
I didn't know any different, so I wasn't like, this is weird, I don't want to. I was like, I guess this is what adult books are like, and I powered through everything.
I mean,
Took me forever.
you might just be, you might have been a boy genius and you didn't know it. You know, you could have been a, you know,
Yeah.
Albert Einstein high IQ level. You know,
A modern day Wesley Crusher. That was me. I'm sitting on the bridge for no reason. Anyway, enough about me. What do you think about my shirt? Like the best joke ever. It was,
oh, dude, I totally want to get a shirt.
Dude, like this, I think this is like $20. You can get them anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I'm plugged into the whole cosplay community.
Yeah.
Okay, but guess what? So's everybody else now, because like if you have access to eBay and Etsy, you can get 90% of the stuff I have.
Okay.
And the other 10% is like movie stuff. So like, what are you gonna do? I have that. I have Jerry O'Connell stuntman spacesuit. So good luck.
I have a shopping problem. So I think the reason I don't really look for stuff is because I just know I'm going to buy it. I'm going to spend it even though I don't have the money.
What size shirt do you wear for a Hawaiian shirt?
My go-to size has always been extra large.
Yeah, okay. I'll send you this one. You can have mine.
Dude, that's awesome.
No, yeah, you can't have mine. I'll get you one though.
Okay.
Thank you. No, for thanking you for, you spend a day a week of your free time talking about nonsense with me. So
dude, it's one of the highlights of my week. It's one of the things I'm always looking forward to. Seriously, because
Shivers is hilarious. You don't have a shopping problem. You have a shopping solution. That's awesome. All right. Well, anyway, enough of this nonsense. We're all here to see what you think about Quentin Tarantino and one of his best casts. I love the cast in this flick.
Cast is great.
And so I'm going to shut up and you take it up. What do you think of this movie? Where are you coming from? What's your context with this flick? You're a QT fan. We talked about that.
Oh, yeah. I will start off with saying that I remember when the trailers of this movie were playing, I was so hyped and so excited. I was like, I'm going to go see it in the movie theater. It's going to be awesome. It's probably going to be my new favorite, Quentin Tarantino film, right? And then somewhere along the lines, I never got around to watching it. And then I've actually had it on my digital library for maybe over a year.
Oh my God, really?
And just didn't,
well, then I have to look when this came out then.
Yeah. And the other sad thing too is I tried my best I watched the entire film, but
2019. So
2019? Yeah. So 5 years ago. I always prefer to sit down, and if it's a Quentin Tarantino film, my goal is, okay, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch it from beginning to end in one sitting. Mm-hmm. I was not able to do that for this movie just because I had a crazy work schedule this week. So I watched it in chunks, and then to be fair, also I've seen bits and pieces on social media play. So certain parts I'm like, okay, I know that this is going to happen. I know that this is going to happen. So I kind of ruined the surprise for myself. But so with that being said, I think like it wasn't the best experience personally to watch the film, and so because of not having the best experience, it's a little bit tainted. And so but I liked it. I liked it better. It's like in the middle of all the Quentin Tarantino films, right? Like it's the 9th film, technically the 10th. Like I know you're supposed to count Kill Bill as one movie, but Kill Bill is 2 movies.
Okay, that's I wouldn't fight about that.
Sure. And so I look at the movie and I think to myself, like, okay, I still like DiCaprio's performance in this movie was good, but I liked him better in Django. Brad Pitt was great in this movie, and he was probably my favorite person in the movie. Favorite line is when DiCaprio's crying, and he's like, "Hey man, don't cry in front of the Mexicans." I just started. There was just something like, I get that. I mean, I don't know why, but like it's like
because that's how we talk.
Yeah,
like you probably knew, like, ooh, you can't get away with that, but I can with my buddies, and that's
exactly.
That's why I love Tarantino movies, because he writes like that,
Yeah.
Anyway,
and
if it makes you feel any better, I had that same experience. I couldn't wait to go see it in the theater, and then life got in the way, and then all of a sudden it's on TV, and I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna watch this now. And
Yeah.
then usually I would watch them with the missus, and just something happened, and I was like, one day I'm like, I can't go another minute without watching this movie. So
Yeah.
I did sit down. I made myself listen to this. I got my cast iron skillet, hot chili oil. I throw in a bunch of frozen shrimp, stir that all up. It's the simplest thing ever. It's just getting hot in hot sauce.
Yeah.
And then I cut up some celery sometimes and throw it in there.
You're
Put that
naming all
on.
the things that I don't like.
Put that on. Well, how do you not like celery? It doesn't
I
taste
don't
like
like celery and I
anything.
don't like shrimp.
Well, anyway, this is what I did.
Yeah.
And put it up in a wrap, made a little burrito with some cheese, and oh man, I just I I had some liquid death and
Oh, okay. Yeah.
sat there like the old days. And I have to say, if I had 1969 Mexican skunk weed, I probably would have rolled up a joint too, because that
Oh,
was
yeah.
the kind of movie it was.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But anyway, sorry.
But,
I just wanted you to not feel bad. Like
yeah.
at least I didn't have it sitting around in my collection for a year.
Right.
I
Right.
can't do that. If I buy something, I watch it within the week because
That's great. I mean, I used to be able to do that, but I feel like I've been working like 2 jobs for
yeah,
5 years now,
yeah.
and it's
I would
just
still do that because then if I didn't, I would end up like you, that I can't buy another thing until I watch the last thing that I bought. So I would
oh, I'm the
always
opposite. I can keep buying
I
and
know
buying and
you have
buying.
this giant thing of stuff that you'll never watch because you'll just never get to it.
You
'Cause
know what
you'll
I
have
just bought recently?
what'd you get?
The 10 film collection of Pink Panther.
Oh yeah, I did. I heard you say that you really liked the Steve Martin movie because it's the anniversary's coming up or something.
Yeah, Sean Levy directed it, right?
Oh yeah, you don't have to sell me on that movie. That movie's great.
Yeah, yeah.
We watched all those during the coronavirus.
I didn't catch it like when I first watched the movie, but he there's a clip where he's like, busting open the door and he's like, "You're under arrest for the murder of Pierre Fouquet." And then like when you read the subtitles and you see how it's spelled, it's like, okay, you're saying the F word but getting away with it, and it's funny. Yeah.
Anyway, I was laughing at you when you said I didn't have a good experience watching the movie because, dude, somebody right before we got on, me and Walker are taking a big walk because they want to listen to me downstairs having a one-sided conversation, right? Because they can't hear what you say, so I just sound like an idiot to them because then I won't say anything for minutes,
Yeah.
because you're talking. Anyway, so they split, and I'm like, that's good because Randall's gonna say he doesn't like it, and I'm gonna make fun of him because he's like, "Oh, I don't know about that." Like, dude, why do you do that? Every time something comes up, you're like, "Man, well, here's all the problems I have with it.
I have
I'm working
feelings.
2
I'm a
jobs."
human being.
But why? My point is, like, why don't you just talk about the stuff that you're enthusiastic about, and then, and it's because there's something wrong with you mentally.
Well, yeah. It's a combination of that, but I think it's also like, you know what? I think I'm the type of person, I like to give the bad news first and then give you the good news last.
But
So
if
like
you're enthusiastic, right? Why don't you just tell the enthusiastic thing and then gloss over the bad news?
save the best for last, man.
But then nobody gets to your best stuff because everybody's like, "Oh, Randall."
Oh, you mean, so you think they hear all the bad stuff and they're like, okay,
Yeah, and then they just check out. It's like, no.
well, then their loss.
It's not though, because they go and find other things where people are enthusiastic. I'm
Right.
telling you, I was reading my Facebook memories today, and there was this guy. It was 11 years ago, which I think is really funny because I remember it like I'd be like, it was like 6 years ago or something, right?
Yeah.
No, twice as long. There was this guy named Mikey Wood, and he would come onto my Facebook because there's 4,000 comics fans, right?
Yeah.
Pop culture fans, and he would try to be like, buy my thing. And I'd be like, dude, just join the community first before we get all excited about your thing. And he'd be like, okay. And whatever we were talking about, that somebody was excited about this and this could be done better, but man, that was awesome. And he'd come in and be like, that's shitty. And I'm like, dude, you're making yourself that shitty guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So for all of my people that I just agree with, and everybody, we've just assembled into this loose association of like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear like, meh, because we get that in our regular lives. Like, it's called entertainment for a reason, right? You
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be entertained. So even
Well, I mean,
stuff that I don't like, I won't
yeah,
tell you about it if it's awful.
yeah.
Or if it's just not for me, I'll be like, I'll look for something that I like. And seriously, every single movie ever that I have seen, I can find at least one thing that I enjoy. Like,
Same here. Same here.
so talk about that, man.
Okay.
And then everybody, so then what happens is, like, say you like the music in some movie, right?
Yeah.
It's horrible, but the soundtrack's right there. And if you just go, man, I don't think this movie was for me, but the music was incredible, and here's why: this, and this.
Yeah.
And okay, you got the bad news out of the way. The movie's not for you, but all anybody remembers is that you love the music in that movie. And
Right.
so all the guys who love the music in that movie are going to be like, Randall's my guy, right?
Yeah.
And that's the part this guy Mikey Wood just did not get.
No, I mean, yeah, he was definitely very critical. I think he's not. I don't see him doing that as much now.
Oh, Mikey, I don't know. I blocked that guy a million years ago.
No, I know.
He was not adding to the scene, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to help him, and he wouldn't listen to me. And I'm like, that's good, man. But
Yeah.
guess what? You don't get to talk to my friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure he's an upstanding citizen now. Mikey, send me an email if you give a shit.
Yeah, he might. He might watch the video. Like, I think I shared something about like you and I talking about the movies, and I think he made like a joke, and he's like, "Oh, but Larry doesn't like anything," and I'm like, "That's not true."
Oh, he's an idiot. Fuck you, Mikey. Don't email me. Larry doesn't like anything. Anyway,
It's a joke, though. It was a joke.
Anyway. So the movie, though,
The movie,
Tarantino. Tell me something you did like. Did you like the Manson Family Girls? Because I did. I thought.
Oh yeah. I
thought that was pretty cool, and and also a sentence I never thought I would ever say. Yeah, those Manson Family Girls.
Margaret Qualley was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, her, and then maybe my second favorite, probably Dakota Fanning.
Oh, so who was the one that was barefoot that Brad Pitt runs across in his car every once in a while? Was that
That's
one?
Margaret Qualley.
Yeah, she was excellent.
Oh yeah.
She was great. What else has she been in? Do you know?
She was in that Demi Moore film recently, Substance, I think, where Demi Moore got nominated for supporting actress.
Yeah, I don't keep track of.
She's been doing a lot of stuff. She's doing one of the Coen brothers films where she's playing I think a lesbian detective.
Ooh.
Charlie Day's in the film, and it's got a great cast. There was a couple other people I can't remember off the top of my head, but the movie looks really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, she has been working, man. She was in the Ryan Gosling movie.
Barbie.
No. Gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Russell Crowe's in it. The Nice Guys.
Oh, she's in that.
She's in that. Yeah.
Oh man, have you seen that?
Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
Oh rats! I'd be like, Randall hasn't seen that, so give me an excuse to watch that again.
Yeah.
What's your favorite scene in that? Because we're going to talk about nothing but this movie because I don't want to hear what you have to say about Superman because you're wrong. I want to stay friends with you.
Okay, it's okay.
Here's the list of what me and Steve are going to be talking about tomorrow. I hope you're at one of your 7 jobs, so you can't call in and. If you ever are just fucking around not doing anything when we do a Dork Court classic, just tell me and I'll give you the thing and you can show up.
Okay. Well, what time is it?
You just send a thing in the the comments.
Yeah.
And then I'll know that you're looking and I'll text you.
What time is the show tomorrow?
3, I think.
3 p.m. your time. So
our time. Yeah, 6 your time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because I'm
not letting you in tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about Henry Cavill being 007, the Superman trailer, the Ironheart trailer, because me and Steve are marketing and promotions guys, and he works in advertising.
Yeah.
And so there's a really interesting thing that Disney is doing.
Yeah.
So there's a tease for tomorrow's up. Also, the Now You See Me, Now You Don't movies.
Yeah.
Dude,
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
Well, a trailer came out on March 25th for like the 4th. Is it third one? Yeah,
third one.
Third one. No, there's 3 of them. I thought. Isn't there 3?
No, there's only 2.
It seems it's so dense and awesome. It seems like it's 3
There's
movies.
more than 2. Yeah.
I kind of there's a movie that where I kind of don't really respond to the cast. I mean, everybody's fine, but like Jesse Eisenberg's not one of my favorite guys. Like Dave Franco's not one of my favorite guys. I love Morgan Freeman and Ruffalo and stuff. And
Yeah.
what's her name? Ilsa Fisher. She's fine.
Yeah.
But like, it's not a
Woody
cast
Harrelson.
that gets me excited. But man, is that movie, those 2 movies, they're just great.
Yeah.
Anyway, tune in tomorrow and I'll talk about it with somebody who understands what's cool. And not somebody that's like, I don't know. I was in a bad mood that day, so I didn't
I'm
like
just Simple
that
Jack.
movie.
That's all.
You what?
I'm just Simple Jack.
Simple Jack. I on my phone, I'm not a big music guy really. I only have about 300 songs on my phone.
Okay.
And so it's just like a Larry channel on Siri. It's like every song is a song I love.
Yeah.
I have like 14 versions of Sweet Jane because I love that song. And so like I have all these covers and I have a karaoke instrumental. So when it comes up, I can sing along in the car.
Nice.
And why did I bring that up? Something about music. I don't know. Man, I have this cold and I purposefully did not have any Dayquil because it kind of makes me sound like I'm high when I'm talking. It's like,
Okay.
you know, Jerry Seinfeld, that's a great show, man. You know, like the
You might end
NyQuil
up sounding like the dude.
Dayquil does for everybody. No, the dude is awesome because everybody sounds like the dude when they blaze up.
Okay.
Don't you think? This aggression will not stand, man. Anyway, okay. So in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, what is the one scene that stands out to you? It's a pretty dense screenplay, knowing QT, but
one scene that stands out. I mean, I suppose it would have to be maybe the Bruce Lee scene, the fight scene.
oh, that's cool. See, I just ask people that because it tells me what kind of stuff that they are interested in. Like
Yeah.
a movie guy will tell you like a technically proficient scene, right?
Yeah.
But somebody who likes violence will be like, "Oh, some guy got stabbed in the eye. That's my favorite scene," you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's cool. You like that, huh?
I really enjoyed the Julia Butters scene with DiCaprio. Just because here's this guy, he's talking to this girl and she's just really, I think, emotionally intelligent and just really intelligent with like the craft. And he just looks at her and he's like, "How old are you? Are you 12?" And she's like, "I'm 8."
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
She's like one of the most professional actresses that he's dealing with, right?
right. I mean, he's not familiar with that, he's maybe almost feels like maybe he's a little out of his element.
Yeah, that's an excellent observation. That's a really telling scene because it's very like it seems metaphorical, but it's really like right there. It's like the younger generation is taking over.
Yeah.
Right? Like literally. So and she's like wildly more professional than all the adults around her. It's just that I'm with you. It's a really cool scene.
Yeah, I like that, and I liked how like he didn't do as great. That was that was another really good scene I liked was when they were filming the scene, and it's him and Timothy Olyphant, and you just see like DiCaprio's like line, and then like he screwed up and he gets frustrated, and then but he like looks in the mirror and he's like, "You're Rick fucking Dalton," and he's just like, "I'm gonna on the next day on the set, I'm gonna wow them," and he did, like. And then you have that scene where Julia like walks up to him and she's like, "That's the best acting I've ever seen." So I was just like, "That's great. That's cool."
Yeah, that's cool. Man, I love the set design in that. And the fact that they didn't use CG to change the streets.
Yeah.
Right? It's like all that shit is really there. And it just blew my mind. Especially, I mean, I lived in LA for 3 months. My friend Rick that is on the show every once in a while. A Hollywood big shot, Rick Austin, who he's got his own production house now.
Okay.
I don't know. He works for it with Joel Gallen a lot. The guy who directed Not Another Teen Movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, he has a shingle called 10th Planet that Rick works with him and produces comedy shows, and Rick's got a couple Emmys. Like he got an Emmy for the William Shatner roast on Comedy Central.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So like, so I when I came out to the West Coast, I crashed on his couch for a couple months, and kind of like just got the idea of LA and realized that it's kind of not for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up in San Francisco. But it's cool. Like when you see movies that take place in LA, it's like, oh, I know that. Oh, right. That's where that happened or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I wish they did that more in Florida.
Yeah, is there? I mean, there's production stuff in Florida now, but Florida's like California that they just use other places to stand in. Like
Yeah,
nobody's doing a movie that's based in Ocala. You know what I mean?
they should.
But I mean, there's no place where you go around and you're like, oh yeah, that's the vibe of this area in Florida,
Well,
which is
there's a
kind of
bit.
what I liked about the Roadhouse remake. Speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal,
Yeah.
although we were talking about Ryan Gosling, if I hadn't pointed that out, people would have been like, oh, I just probably missed that bit.
Yeah.
No, I confused it. Anyway,
Well,
but that's the last thing I know that took place in. Oh, you know what? What was that thing with Vince Vaughn that was on Apple TV? Bad Monkey. Did you watch
yeah, yeah.
that?
So
That's very Florida.
a buddy of mine, Austin Janowski, who does independent comics, um, has also segued into acting. Oh, Burbank, yeah, and so he actually has a small part in one of the scenes
Oh yeah.
for Bad Monkey. I think he plays as like a pastor or a priest or something like that, or he's officiating a wedding or something like that. But it was filmed in Miami, and I remember, dude, about a year, almost 2 years ago, where he was just like, "Oh, I got to go to Miami. I got this part for this Apple Plus show,"
Oh,
and
that's
I was like, "Dude,
awesome.
that's awesome." Yeah,
Yeah. Well, right on. I wish I'd known that because I don't really have a memory of that scene because oh my god, our whole entire family loved that. We're big Carl Hyacin fans of his books.
yeah,
So we were like, we're ready for just give us a fucking infinite amount of Yancey shows
nice.
because that's perfect casting. Vince Vaughn. Anyway, hey, Timmy's got some good info. Caddyshack was filmed in Florida.
Oh,
I
nice.
was not aware of that. That's a good. I like.
I know Waterboy was filmed in Florida.
Anything in Tampa?
The last thing I remember filmed in Tampa. Oh, you know what? No, I take that back. Because I think
Well, you didn't say anything. You don't have
Bryan
to take anything
Cranston.
back.
Bryan Cranston filmed a movie, but I can't remember the name of the movie. But he filmed one in Tampa, and then the one I remember, I kind of went for it to be an extra in, was the Punisher film with Thomas Jane. That was
Oh
filmed
yeah,
in Tampa. Yeah,
that's cool.
and this was before smartphones, and so I think I gave him the house phone, and they specifically said we're only going to call you twice. If you don't
Oh
answer or
no.
respond, you don't get it. And
Oh,
so I
that's a
remember I
bummer.
came home from work, and I think my dad was like, "Yeah, you got a phone call," and I'm like, "Did you get a message?" He's like, "No."
Oh,
And I was thinking, like, damn, that was probably them.
let's see what that says about your dad. Well, that was most likely for him to do that, not pass
Yeah,
on
yeah.
mentions. Yeah. Well, Magic 8 Ball doesn't lie. Anyway, oh man, I just can't keep stuff on track, can I? I just like bouncing around so much. You're a really interesting cat to talk to, so like I just want to hear everything, man. So
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
the movie thing is an excuse to talk. But you heard that they're doing a show, I think, right? A Netflix show or a Netflix 2 hour movie with Brad Pitt about his Cliff Booth character.
I'm convinced that that's just a rumor. Like
No,
they like
dude, he's
one of those
totally
fan made, things. Only because I don't picture David Fincher actually going through and doing that.
come on.
Um,
That's not real.
I don't think it is, man. I don't think it is. I
Uh,
would love for it to be real, but I mean, there's just certain people I know that won't do certain things, like
are
Tom
you
Cruise.
personal fans? I mean, personal friends with David Fincher?
Yes, I am.
You are not. No, man, this is everywhere from real places. Plot details for Fincher's Once Upon a Time in America.
It's just everybody trying to manifest that into actually happening.
It's on Variety, man. Variety. It's a trade magazine. There's no fucking way. Variety doesn't do rumors. Come
Okay.
on, get with a program. Here, I'll give you the link in the comments. Can you read the
All right.
comments? Can you read the comments? I don't know.
No. I mean, like when you pull them up.
Oh, that's when you see them. All right, here you
Yeah.
go. Then shivers. Variety, that old rag. Yeah.
Rag.
All right, here you go.
All
Actually,
right.
so look, Variety 2025 film news. That's fucking happening. So Google works if you don't want to click that or cut and paste it. I don't know how that would work, but yeah. So anyway, that's real. That's really happening. But isn't that cool?
I'm hoping
Next
it's
time you're over at Fincher's house, steal some props from Alien 3 for me and ask him if that's really happening or not. And he'll give me
okay.
the word. And then we'll you come back and
Well,
tell
I'm hoping next time I see him, he'll put me in one of his movies.
Did I tell you I was in the net?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, like
okay.
like you talked about how you were on
That's my
set.
one thing of non-Star Trek related thing where I'm like, hey man, I was in a movie.
I'm telling you, man,
There's
Walker's
no
gonna
proof.
I'm telling you, Walker's gonna make a movie. Sandra Bullock's gonna be in it. He's gonna get you to go on set, right? And you're just gonna sit there. You're gonna be reading a book, and then Sandra's gonna walk up to you and be like, "What are you reading?"
Oh, that'd be great. Look at this.
Operating on vibes only, no
Vibes
Google.
only. Dude, we should make you a shirt. Vibes, good vibes only. No Google. Google's bad vibes. I don't want to know facts. Anyway. Yeah. All right.
What about you? What was your favorite part of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Well, the dumb answer is everything. I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
The cast is real strong. I think I talked about when we decided we were doing this, we spoke a little about that. I said I don't really respond to Leonardo DiCaprio's stuff. It
Yeah.
has to be a really good movie for him to be in it that I enjoy, which is weird. Like Inception is one of my top 5 favorite movies,
Yeah.
and he's the main character, so obviously I can get over it, right? And he's
Yeah.
excellent in Django, and he's excellent in this, but it almost seems like an ensemble movie, because L.A. is really the main character,
Yeah.
which is our Hollywood. I mean, it's in the title, right? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think the Bruce Lee scene is just top shelf.
Yeah.
And
It's fun.
it's made better by Lee's family getting mad about it, because it's like, well, that's great, because you don't understand how, did you see Inglourious Bastards? Like, nobody killed Hitler with a flamethrower in real
Yeah.
life. That's
Yeah.
You're gonna get that with Quentin Tarantino movies. So like,
It's his alternate universe
yeah,
history
he takes
change.
care of the Manson family at the end of this movie, right? None of that
Yep.
shit happens.
Yep.
So okay, in this film, Bruce Lee was kind of a dick. That doesn't mean he was in real life,
Right.
but you have to set that up for that character. And it's really the way he shoots that too. It's like a little below waist level. So you're coming up at him. And he's just like leaning on a car going, this is all very fucking funny. Cliff Booth. And so the inciting incident of that scene is automatically funny, because it's like, it's static. It's a dead stop, right?
Yeah.
And it just blows into this giant thing that is so visceral that the family of the guy involved is mad in real life, 40 years later.
Yeah, and it's such a small
That's
scene
a good
too.
one. Yeah. You mean lengthwise in time?
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. I love you, I know, is like the only thing that people remember from Empire sometimes, right? Like it's like,
or I am your father.
yeah, that's I mean,
or I'll see you in hell.
Nerds do that. Oh, I love that one. That's yeah. Maybe that's a bad example. a lot of good short scenes in Empire.
Yeah.
Here's a good question from Tim. As a character, is Hollywood the protagonist or the antagonist? All right.
I'd say protagonist.
I would say Hollywood is not a character, so I don't accept the premise. But that's the reason I'm so quick with that, is because there's always some Star Trek nutsack with fake pointed ears that says, in a shitty costume, that says that the Enterprise is a character. in Star Trek, and it just isn't. It's the setting for bottle shows.
When I hear that, though, I also think, like, what would Seth MacFarlane do, right? Like, you see guys sitting around talking like, oh, well, the Enterprise is a character. And it cuts to the Enterprise, and there's like a moving mouth on the Enterprise. And be like, I'm going in
No,
space.
I'm not. Shut up. I can honestly say that's a thought I have never had on my own by myself.
Yeah.
What would Seth MacFarlane do? I don't know. Maybe if
I
was,
love his work.
Maybe no, me too. But I wouldn't think he's not one of my guys where I'd say that. Unless here's the one time I would think that if I'm in a movie and I've hired Charlize Theron and I'm doing a lot of good jokes and we have a scene where we smooch, I would say, what would Seth MacFarlane do? Because he's just a friend of hers and he's like smooches on her like they're related by marriage.
I wouldn't be surprised if they dated, like, just real briefly.
The thing I love about Seth MacFarlane and every other awesome writer who's funny is that look at the cute girls that they end up with. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, you make a girl laugh, punch above your weight your entire life. Anyway, some of us remember Boss. That's cool. Forlom, Dengar, Zuckass, IG88. Okay, our brief foray into Empire gave us this.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Dengar, Zuckass, IG88 for sure.
I think that's all. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boba Fett.
I think that's everybody, right? Except for Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Those are all the. So that's Tim and Chris giving us the info. And my friend Stan Hosmer from Worcester, Mass, that I've known since college, just sent me an email 10 minutes before the show that said, hey, you know that they did a Black Series Jackson action figure, right? And I did not know that.
Really?
You know Jackson, the Bugs Bunny, the green Bugs Bunny in Star Wars?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. I've seen it.
So last Halloween, Walker and I realized that I had a lot of parts that I could use to make a Jackson thing. So I bought a cheap Easter Bunny thing and spent like 3 days with. Do you know the artist Ken Knutson? He does. My monkey's name is Jennifer for slave labor. That guy's amazing, man. He did Walker's first cover. That's probably if you have any memory of. When Walker was little, we went camping with some of his buddies, and all the kids brought their bikes and they were kicking around. So he's like covered in dirt. He's about 10 or so, and he has his little bike helmet that has like a spike on it. It's just like a really cool thing. And I took this picture of him from the back, and it's just cool. And Ken had a commission thing open up. I was like, bro, just draw me whatever you want. And he's like, give me a sign. And I'm like, all right, well, here's this picture of my kid that I really like. You just work your Ken magic on it. He's like if Bill Sienkiewicz was a good artist. No, I'm teasing. You know how awesome Sienkiewicz is, right?
Of course.
He has that cool like spray of lines that he uses with color. Sometimes just white acrylic paint and stuff.
Yeah,
you can picture like Lecter Lives Again. He'll do like a light reflection off a katana, but it's like this crazy lightning bolt.
Oh yeah,
all of Ken's art is like that.
Oh, right? Nice.
Here we go. Ken rules. So yeah, he did this great thing of Walker, and it's like family heirloom, right? And so when we were doing his first book, I was like, hey, do you mind if we use this as the cover, man? This is just great. And I'm like, I'm not going to put any trade dress on it. It's going to be like,
yeah,
here's a thing Ken Knutson did of my kid for his first comic. And he was very gracious. He's like, absolutely. And I'm like, he's just the coolest guy ever. But we've loved My Monkey's Name is Jennifer forever. And when Walker was little, I just said that once to him, right? Like either the name Jennifer came up or Monkey or something. I don't know. And I just went, hey, Walker, yeah, my monkey's name is Jennifer. And he laughed for like an hour. He just thought that was the funniest collection of words. Yeah. And so I told Ken that, and he just was really happy. So he was happy to do that for Walker. I really appreciate that.
You know how you say collection of words and it just makes you laugh?
Yes.
That just happened to me today. when I was watching a little bit of Pink Panther, but the one with Steve Martin, and they're like, what's your email name, Dr. Knockers? And it just caught me off guard. I was just like, I don't remember that, but that's hilarious. And he's saying it in French.
Is there anything like that in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, the funniest line to me was like, don't cry in front of the Mexicans.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, usually Quentin Tarantino he doesn't really write for the trailer,
Right.
but his characters are so well drawn that usually there's some funny thing. But man, I was so enraptured with this movie that I can't. I mean, you had to remind me of that one, but yeah, that's a great line.
Yeah.
But like, I can't remember anything from. I mean, I remember the actors' intonations and stuff, but it's always like, how did I feel in this scene, right?
Yeah.
And that's a cool trick that he does. A lot of Tarantino movies are like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been known for his writing, his dialogue. I mean, that's part of the reason why Pulp Fiction was so good. I mean, you got John Travolta does Dr. Knockers do, man.
I love how Tim and Matt are like having some laughs. And Chris, hey, thanks guys for like hanging out and listening to our crap. What do you guys think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Although I think the appeal of us is trying to stay on topic and just talking about all this other random stuff.
It also got me thinking about like my list of like Tarantino films, like from like best to least best.
Your rankings, yeah.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite Tarantino movie? That's a good one.
Probably Death Proof.
I can't answer that. What do you just Death Proof itself, or both of them as a grindhouse?
Oh, no, Grindhouse. I love what Robert Rodriguez did.
Yeah, okay.
I think because Robert Rodriguez's film I enjoyed so much more is probably the reason why I didn't like Death Proof as much.
I gotcha. They're definitely two different takes of the grindhouse, drive-in genre.
I think his Robert Rodriguez, his film was more fun, more action, and a better ensemble cast, in my personal opinion.
That's a bold words. Yeah. I'm not a big zombie guy, and it was. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, but I think Death Proof. Here's the thing. I don't. Is Kurt Russell in your movie? It's automatically better than anything else. I mean, although I love Rose Byrne, it's not Rose Byrne. Who is it? The girl with the. Is it?
Rose McGowan.
Rose McGowan with the machine gun leg.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's awesome.
And then you had Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but man, I love Death Proof because that's more my idea of a 1970s grindhouse flick.
Yeah. I still need to see Machete Kills.
That's not a Tarantino movie, is it?
Well, it's a grindhouse film.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
He might be one of the producers on it. He might be.
I thought you were going to tell me that was down like one of your least favorite Tarantino movies. I'm like, I don't even think that's a Tarantino movie.
No.
I haven't. Yeah, Machete. I saw the first Machete and I loved it, of course. Yeah. Anyway.
And well, what about you? I mean, what of all the Tarantino films, which one is the one that you're like?
Pulp Fiction, 100%. Up and down the.
That's your favorite one.
Yes, I quote that all the time.
Yeah,
I can go a whole day just talking in Pulp Fiction quotes.
Nice.
I love every single thing about that movie.
Yeah, I feel that way about Inglourious Bastards.
And Tiffany agrees with me. I mean, but that's the thing. Like Pulp Fiction was the first one, right? That I saw.
No, Reservoir Dogs.
The first one I saw.
Oh, okay.
So it made me go back and see Reservoir Dogs, which I loved.
Yeah.
And I've seen every one of his movies a million times. I just love his scene. I love everything about. I love his writing. I'm just a giant fan. I talked to his mom at a San Diego one time.
Oh, nice.
That was cool. She was just buying crap for him, and it was like the early 2000s, right? So he wasn't like a giant name, but it was like, and on the San Diego floor, it was like, oh my God, Quentin Tarantino's mom is here. So yeah, it was like one of those things. And I talked to her. I was like, "Did you have fun at the show?" And she's like, "Yeah, no, thanks for talking to me about something else." And I'm like, "Well, do you need to hear from somebody else again that your son's a genius? Because I will talk to you about that. But I
Yeah.
think it's more cool because I'm a genius too. Just nobody's heard about it yet. But I could see my mom going around and talking to people I know, and then
Yeah.
going, "You're Larry Young's mom." So I can imagine at the level you're at, you
Yeah.
have even more pride in your son that all the people here know who he is and enjoy his work. And she just loved that. And I was just like, yeah, but you know what? I love you. You're a crazy old lady at a con. Like even if your son wasn't somebody whose work I admired, I'd probably still have the same conversation with you because it's just awesome.
That's very cool, man.
Yeah. She's fun. But then she didn't take me home and didn't adopt me. So what does Marsalis Wallace look like? That speaking of man, we should get off of this before I spend the next 45 minutes talking about Pulp Fiction. But yeah, here's a thing. I was pals with Harlan Ellison near the end of his life, right? And
yeah. I think I remember you mentioned before.
We chatted about Pulp Fiction like at length, and he was the first guy to tell me, it's in the suitcase. It's Marcellus Wallace's soul. And I was like, I love you, Harlan. I don't know where he got that. I can't believe he started that, but maybe he did. I don't know. But that once you start doing that, you start seeing all the little things, like little the Band-Aid at the base of his neck, Ving neck. That's where they took his soul out. Right? Like he just had like all these things that like was like, no, that's what happened, that's what's happened, that's what's happened, that's what's in the. And I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
I need to do a rewatch of Pulp Fiction. I think it's been 15, maybe 20 years since I saw it.
Oh man, 15-20 minutes for me. So anyway, yeah, I love Reservoir Dogs. I was trying to get you to watch Jackie Brown. I love that.
Yeah, I need to watch that because Michael Keaton's in it, and I like Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I mean, just everything about that. I'm really into the whole Tarantino vibe. Those are the kind of movies I just wish when I was getting into movies, that's what all movies were like, right?
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, like you've seen The Godfather, right? Yeah. So like that was a movie that was coming out at the same time as Grindhouse movies, right?
Right.
So when I as a kid, I didn't understand the difference between a high-end studio production and something that like Russ Myers was shitting out with girls with big boobs, right? It's just all movies to me, right?
You guys are in the same category.
But when you start looking at it, unless it's a rom-com or a kids movie, most movies in the 70s had like the same vibe because that was the world that they were producing those things in.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I started really getting into film and understanding that was a job you could have. Like somebody was making these things. It wasn't just like coming out of the entertainment tree that was run by Keeblers or something. And so then this guy starts making movies like that in the late 90s. And I'm like, yes, I don't know what he's on, but I want all of it too.
Yeah.
Colonel Schlong is superior to the Bluesmobiles. I don't know. Maybe. I could argue. That's Colonel Schlong's our Honda CRV.
Oh, okay.
And our electric car is General Electric. So this is Mimi's car. It outranks the Colonel. Anyway, so Tim knows that. Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face. Yeah, I mean every scene that Vincent and Jules are in is just great. Yeah, I can quote along that. And Rosanna Arquette's in it, man. She's got, I don't know. The 1970s present huge lapels and funk. Exactly. I love the funk. Who's got the funk? Gotta have that funk. Yeah, we got the funk.
My favorite 70s movie.
Ooh, there's a good question.
My favorite 70s movie, Superman the movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's interesting because that's so timeless. It's not an iconic. It's not really a 70s movie. I mean, there's that shot with a pimp. Yo, Jim, You
Dang,
know,
man.
so I hope Randall sees a John Landis film soon. There's a good one. You've probably seen
I do
Gremlins,
love
right?
John Landis. American Werewolf is probably my favorite
All right.
John Landis film.
Wow, there's a good thought. Your favorite John Landis film? I'm gonna go with the. I'm so old. I'm gonna go with Kentucky Fried Movie.
That one I haven't seen.
It's an anthology thing. It's kind of quaint, but favorite 70s movie from Chris Sagasek, Silver Streak. I would never have guessed that. And but I have no counter argument. That I would
Haven't seen
never
it.
have guessed that for Chris, but once he said it, it's like, oh, I totally see that being his favorite movie. Yeah, there's lots of cool
That's
stuff.
Gene Wilder, right?
Yes, and Richard Pryor.
Yeah, those guys are great.
Good movie. Yeah. My favorite 70s movie has to be Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing I thought of. But I love all of the 70s. I would have to break it down. I have 100 favorite 70s movies, right? I'd have to go favorite movie where Keith Carradine brought his own wardrobe. Stuff like that. Peter Fonda movies, you know.
I still want you to watch the Kill Bill movies, though.
I don't know if I can do it, man. Like I said, I don't care. I'm not a kung fu guy. I'm not a chop sake guy. So I wouldn't get what Tarantino was doing. I know I just kind of feel annoyed by that. I'd be like,
Oh, it's a revenge film.
I know, but like there's whole bits where what's her name from Charlie's Angels cut some guy's head off at the top, and it's like that's so clearly like some reference to something or a kind of, and I don't get the reference, so I just sit there going, yeah, this movie's not for me, and it's nobody's fault.
Yeah,
but you know,
you're not a bit curious. You're not thinking like maybe Volume 2 wins me over. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
no. If the first half of a party sucks, you don't keep staying there and hoping it gets better, right? Like,
I mean, I in situations like that, I'm an optimistic person where I'm like, you know what? There's a chance that this can turn around. There's a chance that this can get better.
There's
and
too
I want to
many
see if that
movies,
happens.
man, and only so much time in the day. Like I know I'm not gonna enjoy that movie, so why do that? Why don't I watch a movie that I end up not enjoying?
Right.
And then I go, all right, well, at least I had that experience and I've learned a little something and I can stay away from that shit.
Has Walker watched it?
Kill Bill?
Yeah.
No. No. I don't think he's seen any kind of chop sake thing at all.
Okay.
He's way, yeah, man, digital natives. They're like, you know, he's all the time that he has spent playing Fortnite and Overwatch and Marvel Rivals, whatever that thing's called.
Yeah.
Like I would have watched like 17 movies, right?
Yeah.
So, but just kids have more things to distract them from their free time. Dude, can I just like be a proud dad for a second?
Yeah.
So I give my kid messages when I get them for him. And so that's a good dad thing. But the second thing is, I don't know if you saw on my Facebook, but he got the English department book award, which is like best English student in his school.
That's awesome.
There's like 20 teachers, and each teacher chooses 20 English teachers, and each of the English teachers choose their best student, and they all give them a little certificate going, "You guys rock." And so I was really pleased with that. He has really taken his love for movies and TV and entertainment and storytelling and stuff and just applied it.
He's carrying the torch, man.
I know. It just makes me so happy. It's like,
because there's a lot of people his age, they don't care about movies.
Yeah, is that true? I don't know. I don't know a lot of people his age.
They're fixated on like social media and YouTube and watching short videos.
That's still narrative storytelling, though.
Oh yeah, but I mean, imagine just talking to somebody like me, right?
Yeah, we have to. Matt is going, yeah, right on. You know why? Because he's a dad that's proud of his kids too.
Oh yeah,
he knows like what that is. It's cool. Hey, Harold Ramis. You've seen Harold Ramis films. You must have.
Give me some examples.
That he's directed. I think that's what Tim means.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you what film he directed. I know
one movie popped into my head. Year One.
Okay, yeah.
I enjoyed Year One
with Jack Black in that one, or
yeah.
No, that's a Harold Ramis movie.
Yeah. Oh,
that's funny enough.
Groundhog Day. I think Harold Ramis directed that, right?
There you go. He definitely wrote it. That's the thing. I know him as a really accomplished writer. I know he's directed stuff. You know who's gonna kill me is Matt's right. I mean, you're right, Matt.
Groundhog Day may actually be my favorite Bill Murray movie.
Huh, that's bold words. All right, everybody, what's your favorite Bill Murray movie? I'm not gonna say mine.
Some people will say Stripes.
It's random. My favorite Bill Murray movie. You'll go, I would have never thought of that, but of course, Larry's favorite movie is
The Adventures of Steve Zissou.
No, but that's an excellent one. I can't think of. Well, I was gonna say I can't think of a bad Bill Murray one, but I can think of ones I did not enjoy. But yes, Sagasag gets it.
Oh, Meatballs.
Meatballs is my favorite Bill Murray.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. I was like, who am I talking to? The guy who has that on his Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yep, Tim guessed it too. Yeah, it's just everything about that movie I just love.
Even if we win,
I quote that movie all the time.
He's like, what does he say? Even if we win, even if we do this, even if we do that, the girls are still gonna go with the other guys. It just doesn't matter.
You know the thing about the production of that, right? They all lived at the camp when it was closed down.
Yeah, I remember.
It was raining the whole time. They had to like shoot around the weather.
I heard they pulled some pranks. I think Bill Murray pulled a prank on, I think, one of the other I don't know if it was the director or one of the cast members. I vaguely remember hearing something of that sort.
Oh my God, good old Tiffany Jean. The young family business. I was telling somebody that I'm really proud of him because my long game for getting we have this joke that when Discovery was on, Star Trek Discovery, like my buddy John Price and I just hated it, and we would just rip it. We rip it good. And
what's your advice though?
What's that?
It's like, can't you just find something that you like about it and just only talk about that?
Oh, dude! if you wanted to hear stuff I liked about it, I really enjoyed Doug Jones's work.
Yeah,
he was an incredible actor in it.
Have you met him?
No.
I got to meet him when he was at a convention in Orlando.
Did he hug you?
No, but he, you know what? His kindness felt like a hug.
That's why I asked, because we've traded a lot of messages over the years, and he just oozes kindness and gentleness and like warmth, and he really feels like he's paying attention to whatever you're interacting with him about.
Yeah,
and I think that's cool.
Yeah, he definitely gives you the attention, and he treats everybody the same. I think he treats people the way he wants to be treated.
There was nothing good about Discovery. I think Jason Isaacs was pretty good, although the character he had did the entire thing in disservice. But it gets to be a really short list after that because it's not very Star Trek. It's just a generic action space show, and anyway, let's not get into that. But see, there's two things I found right away that I enjoyed. It was great.
So there's a movie called 10 Things I Hate About You, and then it should be like a little short fan film called 10 Things That Larry Young Hates About Discovery.
No, I would never write that because of what I said about Mikey, right?
Right.
Yeah, 10. Although it might be, it would be funny if I even tried to write an article like that. I'd probably get 2 or 3 good things that I hated about something. And then I would just start like writing about, but this was good. And I really enjoyed this. And this scene was pretty powerful. Yeah. And then that would remind me of like, and then they cut and pasted 100 ships that were the same thing. And like, where did all those ships come from? And there's no majesty in the show. And, the turbolefts are in an enclosed space that,
I haven't told you this. So I bought the original Star Trek television series digitally. And I've actually started watching like season 1.
Yes, Matt has a book apparently, and he needs to plug it.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he's making fun of Mikey.
Uh,
All right, sorry. Start over. What did you say for that bit? I forget.
oh,
I didn't hear you.
I bought the original series Star Trek digitally. It was on
Okay.
sale, and I've been watching couple episodes or a few episodes of season 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Which ones are stand out?
the episodes.
Yeah.
Probably the second episode
Naked
where
Time.
it's the kid who has the abilities.
Charlie X.
Yes, yes, and
That's
the
the
only
fourth
reason that stood
episode.
out was because I had the hardest time finishing that episode.
Oh yeah.
And so I had to like rewatch bits and pieces of it. It literally took me like over a week to finish watching that
Is this you
episode.
didn't have time, or you didn't care, or what?
So here's the problem. I was watching it at night as I'm
Watching
falling
it at
asleep.
night, Dad.
Yeah, and so like I'm watching it and like 5-10 minutes goes by and I fall asleep and then I wake up the next day and I'm like, okay, I need to.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah,
And that's not exactly like a slam bang action one.
Yeah.
I'm really curious when you get into the old Star Treks, because they are way there. There's action, of course, but it's in service of philosophy and morality, and their morality plays, right? There's
Yeah.
always somebody's got a choice to make, and Spock goes to be, and McCoy goes, or not to be a green-blooded bastard. And Kirk goes, gentlemen, that is the question, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all their interaction all the time, right?
Yeah. Oh, there was one where they're playing chess, and so you see Kirk and he talks about, I guess the feeling of frustration or irritation.
Ah, yes.
And then like he puts Spock in checkmate and he has this look on his face and he's like, you sure you don't know what irritation is?
Yeah.
You know?
I love it.
Yeah. And for the longest time, I didn't realize this. I didn't know this because I watched a lot of Big Bang Theory. On Big Bang Theory, you see the chessboard. They're doing like this, I think, 3D chess or whatever. And yeah. And they
Chris Sagasag. That's Chris's, and I'm keeping it.
Oh, very cool.
And gave it to me. What a generous gift. That was really cool.
I never understood the chess reference, and then I see Star Trek, and I'm like, oh, that's where they got it from.
The chess reference. Oh, in Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never watched that idiot show.
It's a fun show, man. I like Chuck Lorre.
It's not. You know why?
Why?
Because it's a lame, pre-processed Chuck Lorre version of our lives. So that's not going to be entertaining to me. I don't care. I did watch, though. There's an episode where Leonard Nimoy is doing the voice of Sheldon's,
Mego
Spock action figure. I saw that on a plane, and I was like, okay, I get this show. That was not a bad episode. That's fine. I know. That's all I need to know about this.
There's probably a dozen of those for you.
I know actually through props, like there's a lot of times where they dress up in Star Trek uniforms and they use like toys and stuff, and so the prop guys are all like, those are screen used Star Trek things that are easy to get because they're not from Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everybody goes, hey, I got a screen used Star Trek uniform. And they're like, what? Who are you, Paul Allen? That's museum quality stuff. And they're like, oh, it's the one Sheldon wore. I also have his Ruby's Flash costume too. That was screen used. So
I mean, I like the guest stars that they brought on there.
Oh my God. Tim's got the real. This is exactly what I think of Big Bang Theory. Someone else's glory hall. It's not mine. Not mine. Belushi was a good Captain Kirk. Yep. There's a theme emerging here. Uh-oh, that was a little while ago, so I don't know. 6:31. That was 4 minutes ago. Who knows what we were talking about? Probably me making fun of Mikey.
Oh, probably.
Excuse me. I was really the reason why we're a day late. I have this cold, but I feel a little better now. I was kind of all right yesterday, but I was like, man, because it's getting late my time.
Yeah,
and it's 3 hours later your time. But right at that 5:30 time, it's like, do I have to do dinner? Can I talk to Randall? I've done a lot of stuff to do in the late, and I was just like, you know what, this will just go better if we do it the next day. So I appreciate you moving it a day.
Oh yeah, no problem. And then you might want to let the audience know that next Tuesday we won't be able to do it.
Because we're at that Walker getting his English award.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I mean, we got 6 or 8 or 10 people that like watch us live, so they're
Yeah.
all like friends of ours, man. So I could just tell them like, hey, man, we're gonna do this on Wednesday. Oh, Matt's theme was Randall cannot finish movies and TV shows. You were talking about falling asleep during Where No Man Has Gone Before. That's the chess episode. Irritation, Mr. Spock? Yes.
Yeah.
One of your Earth emotions. Yeah, that's a great scene. That's when they have those different gold collar uniforms and Spock's wearing gold. Yeah, that's crazy. Actually, that's a good episode. I like that episode. But I think it's one of the last episodes of season 2. It's called the Omega Glory.
Yeah.
That's one I'm dying to know. We should do a dork trek. Someday when John's on, we'll get you on too, and go and we'll make fun of you that you don't like that episode.
Okay.
It's you've seen old Star Treks before, right? You're just going through them.
Bits and pieces. I never like really watched like full episodes. I know. Like the Star Trek for me growing up was like Star Trek Next Generation. Definitely Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
I think those were like the main 2 that I would casually watch on UPN back in the day.
Did you like the Tribbles episode DS9 did? It's like the Forrest Gump episode. That's what everybody called it at the time.
Yeah. I think, God, it's been so long since I've seen that episode. So like,
the thing I love most about that, they introduced that there's Starfleet has time cops that try to like put right what went wrong, and they're all like, that fucking Jim Kirk, man, he was always doing dumb shit.
Like Quantum Trek.
But their names were Skulder and Mully.
Really?
Yeah, and so I'd love that. There was something like that. There was so obviously, these 2 guys are the X-Files guys of Starfleet.
X-Files is another show I need to watch.
Randall. Well, wait how old were you in the year 2000?
In the year 2000, I was probably 16.
Do you even get this joke? The year 2000. No.
Wait, well, if you're doing this, I always think of Wayne's World. Like,
well, it is. That's it's from Wayne's World. Except Conan O'Brien stole that for a bit.
Yeah.
He would always go in the year 2000, but it was like 2007, right?
Yeah.
So it was funny, but
when he did the Tonight Show, he changed it to the year 3000.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Well, that's because he didn't have the rights to say the year 2000. Like, NBC owned that or whoever.
Well, no, the Tonight Show was on NBC.
What was his other show then? The first show that they got him from?
Well, his first show was the Late Show.
Right.
It was right after Jay Leno.
Well, that's where he did that skit.
Yeah.
I remember they couldn't use any of that when they went to NBC.
Both shows were on NBC.
I don't know what I'm thinking of. Maybe Dave.
He couldn't use it when he went to TBS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I love this. Randall can't finish movie TV shows
and TV shows
in one sitting. Oh,
I can do it, but on a good day.
I may have to call this. We've been talking for over an hour, and I'm starting to like really need to cough and spit. Like I have tuberculosis or something.
So, but overall, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I liked it. It's probably my 4th or 5th favorite Tarantino film.
So yeah, we were going through that. Your favorite was what?
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds. You like Kill Bill's right up there, right?
Yeah, I think Kill Bill's my 2nd favorite.
Yeah, okay. And then what do we got after that?
Probably Django Unchained.
Okay, yeah, Django.
Yeah, and then after Django Unchained, probably Once Upon a Time. It's a toss-up. Like I feel like Pulp Fiction and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are very neck and neck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I do too. Honestly, I enjoy those about the same.
Yeah,
but Pulp Fiction gets it because
it's better writing and better.
It's the first one that you really get what Tarantino's doing.
Yeah,
like even if I had seen Reservoir Dogs first, I'd been that's an excellent film, but that's just everybody gets one, right?
Yeah.
But then the next one's Pulp Fiction is like Hey man, and this guy wrote True Romance too, so I'm going to start following his career.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh, I'd say, look at this. Tim and Matt are having a little side conversation. I can't decide if Jackass or Aqua Teen Hunger Force is the best year 2000 show. And then Matt immediately says, Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Nice. I need to watch that.
I didn't watch it, but the guy that was working for me back then was this guy named Ryan Yount. He did, I don't know if you know Scurvy Dogs, that pirate book we did.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan did that. It's pretty funny. They stole the whole idea for some FedEx ad. It was great. That was kind of a bummer being us. That like there was a comic store called Meltdown in LA, and of course Golden Apple, but that's still there. But those two stores loved everything we did, and so LA guys were reading our stuff.
That's
so
awesome.
Sky Captain put cows in the rockets, and I had a cows jumping over the moon joke in AIT. That's kind of like, I'm not going to get mad about that, but like I have some suspicions, right? But that Scurvy Dogs one, that was like, dude, those guys went, yeah, that's a great idea, but doing funny pirates in the modern day, we don't have to pay rights for that. They let that right out. Anyway, don't do a Sherlock Holmes book either. Because I don't think this, but the guy who did it is oh my god, I'm totally blanking on his name because I've been talking more than an hour and I have to blow my nose. Omaha Perez. This is a good friend of mine, man. Why did I not remember his name? But he did this book called Holmes that was just bananas good. I actually got a piece of art from it where he has some guy like Sherlock Holmes is beating somebody. He's going, "Explain yourself, sir." This really speaks to me. But like 2 years later, the Guy Ritchie, Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes comes out.
Yeah.
And obviously Sherlock Holmes is but they kind of ripped the vibe off from Omaha's thing, and he was very sad about that. But you can't do anything, right? Because it's a public domain character.
Yeah, of course.
And it's Guy Ritchie and Robert Downey Jr. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but somebody somewhere read that book and went, "Oh yeah, man, let's do that vibe."
Yeah,
that's what Omaha thinks.
I still wish that they made a third one.
They probably will.
We'll see.
The last thing still needs money.
Well, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is back with Marvel, right? So he might not have the time in his schedule.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He still needs money because he's not doing another movie after Doomsday. Like he's just there to. Do you think? I don't know.
I think if Doomsday does as well as they expect it to, like he's going to probably do another several, 2 or 3 other films that are all going to be Avengers films.
As who?
Who knows? They might bring him back as Iron Man.
No. You know why? Because
for the right money.
That they won't do that because they're too smart, man. Like that makes the first 20 movies not make a lick of. There's no emotional impact at all ever because he comes back and now he's an old guy. That's why the whole
nostalgia, man.
No, I know, but he's gonna get killed, man. That's the whole thing. Like, remember in Avengers Age of Ultron, he goes, "Picture a suit of armor around the world." Yeah, the suit of armor is Doom on his world, right? I totally get that, but you have to get rid of that guy, and he's only coming back for that one movie.
I mean, Doom is too good of a villain to just kill off.
Right, they're not killing off Doom; they're killing off Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom.
We'll see.
Dude, I'll bet you $20. I'll bet you an insane amount of money that will hurt you when you lose. There's no fucking way. Anyway, obviously not money. We'll do a gentleman's bet. You'll just have to go, yeah, you're right, Larry.
We'll do a trading places bet, right? Pull out a $1 bill.
Dude, I stopped doing this, but in the early days of Facebook, I would do that with people. Like, I'll have $1 bet. This movie will clear 60 million. If I'll bet you $1, little small bets like that. Yeah, like this one, right? I'll bet you $1 that RDJ dies.
All right,
in Doomsday. But I did that enough that one day I'll find it later and send and tag you on the link. But one day I had all the dollar bills that I had won, and people would write shit on it like "fuck you, Larry," because here's your dollar, you know. And so I had 14 of them, and one of them was a Disney dollar. You know what Disney dollars are, right?
Vaguely.
Disney, you can give them $100, and then they give you 200 Disney dollars or something. So
Yeah.
it's and then you can spend it at the park, and you feel like you're getting value and stuff. And they love it because people save them as souvenirs, right?
Yeah.
So they actually are making money on this deal. And so somebody had sent me a Disney dollar. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Nice.
I'll take that because I'm not.
Do they still do the Disney dollars?
I don't know. This is like 15 years ago. I
Okay.
stopped doing it. You know what? I'll start doing that again. We'll do it with you.
All right.
All right. Huh. This is reminding me of that time that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was writing a Mycroft Holmes comic book. There's something you have to find me.
I vaguely remember hearing about that.
I never heard about that.
There was a book that actually was intrigued me called Watson and Holmes, and it was a take on Sherlock and Watson, but it was modern day. It was two black guys, and it was in the hood.
Huh. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
My wife is a giant Sherlock Holmes fan. She's very serious about all the stories.
Yeah.
She doesn't really care about the movies unless it's somebody cool. She likes the Guy Ritchie ones.
Yeah.
But Walker and I, we were like, "Oh, mommy, you love Holmes and Watson. Let's go see this Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly movie." And dude, there's not a bigger, vast chasm of enjoyment in our family than Walker and I fucking loved every second of that movie. And she was legit angry. She was like, there's no way. Like in the movie, she'd be like, that's not going to happen. Sherlock Holmes would never do that. He just punched the queen. And we're like crying, laughing. Like, yes, everything you're saying you hate is why we love it.
Right.
Anyway.
No, there's two parts in that movie that I really absolutely love. And it's Billy Zane.
Yeah, speaking of, look at this. So Tim Connolly did the music for our DORK COURT.
Yeah.
And or maybe it's a Star Trek. I don't know. I forget which one it is. But he did the music, and it's excellent. I thank him all the time. I love his band. I wrote a Fantastic Four song for them. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I wrote a song. It's great. Anyway, I don't know who he's betting, but we should both take this bet.
Oh, it's an easy win. It's an easy win.
Because
like Billy
of
Zane,
all the actors in the world, he's taking Billy Zane. That's like Babe Ruth. Over there.
Yeah.
I will say I would love it. I love Billy Zane as an actor.
Oh, me too.
I mean, The Phantom was cool, but after Zoolander, I'm like, I love you, Billy Zane.
No, I mean, The Phantom is still my favorite Billy Zane film.
Yeah, I mean, well, sure. What else are you going to say? Titanic? You're not a 12-year-old girl. Yeah, no, of course, The Phantom. Phantom is great. It has.
He did do a Robert Downey Jr. film.
Oh yeah, which one?
It's Robert Downey Jr. and Marissa Tomei. It's like a romantic comedy film. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
Oh, when they're younger?
Yeah.
Oh, so Billy's got hair?
Yeah.
Well, we don't care about actors like that. Anyway, yeah, so Tim, we're both betting you $1, so you better start saving up, play some more ukulele.
Saving up. I will take quarters.
You will take quarters. Here's a good one I missed. Seg says Cumberbatch as Doom in Secret Wars. That might be funny that that Doom keeps showing up the first couple times you see him and pulls his head off, and it's like Scarlett Johansson and Cumberbatch. And
you know what? I'm calling it now.
That's going
to be an SNL skit.
Yes, but I could see where you could do that seriously.
Yeah,
like you get somebody and they're like, "Oh yes, Doom finally will reveal his true face." And you're like, "No, we saw his true face. Tony Stark. We had a whole movie." And I'm like, no. Now it's like fucking Tom Holland.
They're gonna pull Spartacus. They're gonna pull Spartacus.
My kid would shit his pants in the movie theater if Tom Holland was Dr. Doom.
I'm Dr. Doom, and it's literally like every Marvel actor standing up. Jon Favreau at one point will stand up and like, I'm Dr. Doom.
He's Happy Doom.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's call it. Or wait, what are we watching next Wednesday?
That's a good question.
Before I die.
That's a good question.
We didn't really talk about anything because we were just going off on QT, which
Yeah.
rightly so. Oh my God, Shivers is a king. It's going to be George Clooney. George Clooney will get over his Batman problem. Dude, that was the best thing about The Flash. George Clooney showing up at the end. That was.
I mean, for me, it was Michael Keaton.
Yeah, that was for me too. Like, Keaton's her Batman.
Yeah.
I just, it was cool. I liked it, of course, but I would have liked to have seen that have happened already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like why wasn't Michael Keaton Batman in a couple movies already? Randall wants to watch Three Amigos. Have you seen Three Amigos?
Of course.
All right.
Of course, I've seen Three Amigos.
All right. But give us another one, Timmy. What's something that you're interested in that you haven't been able to see from your collection? So that way you know that you have it. Coca-Cola.
I mean, I sent you a list.
Oh, did you? I probably ignored it.
Let me pull up the list real quick. Better yet, you know what? I'll read off the list real fast and then let somebody decide.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even really have to do it now. Oh, you've seen Fletch, right?
Yes, I've seen Fletch.
But not Confess Fletch?
No.
Let's do that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Because John Hamm is a... See, no, I might not let you talk, actually. You'll just have to sit there. We should have done another movie. Just because I'm not a Fletch scholar, but I've read all of the books a couple of times, and I've seen the first Fletch nearly... I've seen... Let's see. I was going to say nearly as much as Star Wars, but no one's going to touch Star Wars.
Blue Thunder.
Okay.
Hollywood Homicide. Striking Distance. Super 8. La La Land. Rambo 5. Scream 4 through 6.
No, never.
Pan's Labyrinth. Due Date. Inherent Vice. Fablemans. The Dead Don't Die. Zodiac.
You know, it's crazy. You said one movie. I was like, on this entire list, I'd only watched one of those, and then I forgot what it was. It was what's the first couple?
Blue Thunder.
Yeah, what's after that?
Hollywood Homicide.
No.
Striking Distance.
No, I don't even know what that is.
Super 8.
Super 8. You know, watch Super 8?
Yeah.
Because that's we can talk a lot about J.J. Abrams and how he wants to be Spielberg. Yeah, let's do Super 8. That's a good one.
Watch some lens flare.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. Everybody's
no, it doesn't bother me. I actually love it.
People like make fun of that, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're making fun of that. There's a lot of movies where that just happens anyway.
The people who make fun of it are
there's a guy off camera making real ones, you know?
Oh yeah. I think the people who make fun of it are the same people who make fun of Zack Snyder. It's like, why?
Yeah, whatever. What's the Dead Don't Die? Shivers says that's pretty good.
Oh, but it's zombies. I don't think you'd like it.
Yeah,
Bill Murray is in it, and so is Adam Driver. And it's a comedy, basically. It's like a dark comedy.
I got confused because Bill Murray is a zombie in Zombieland. Or he pretends to be a zombie, and then he gets bit by a zombie and ends up a zombie again. For real. So I was like, really? Is that the same thing?
No. I mean, but he's like a sheriff. He's a sheriff.
Like the dead don't die.
Yeah.
All right, I wish Shivers. If it's not a typical zombie movie, you want to try that just so I'm not. So I'll watch something that's.
Yeah, you want to do the Dead Don't Die?
Yeah, man. If it's quirky,
okay.
I trust Matt. He's more on my beam than you are with your nonsense.
Okay.
But that's why I love talking to you, man, because I learn new things. So yeah, Dead Don't Die.
Awesome.
I have secret reasons for that. Walker came up with a really good zombie idea.
Yeah.
Where I was like, hey, bro, I hate fucking zombies, and I will help you on this one. It's so fucking good.
Nice.
He said, he's like, I challenged myself to do a zombie movie that you would like. So he's like, I'm so happy that you like this. I'm like, forget that I like it. I think it's very a commercial idea. You found a way to do a zombie movie that hasn't been done before.
Okay.
And so, of course, it's got like no one will be able to market it because it's quirky. His idea takes like 17, 18 genres. I didn't count them all, and and zombies one of them. So you sell it as a zombie movie, but it's like not even the main part of the thing.
Okay.
You know,
Magic zombies.
no one's done it.
Okay.
It's I can't say, and I can't even tell you the title because it's so perfect. I
Okay.
never say that. I'll be like, yeah, go ahead, man. Here, I'm working on this thing. You know, steal it if you want. Mine's gonna be better. No, I would never do that to him because it's that good. Sell it to Apple. Yes, we will sell it to anybody. Anybody who
Nice.
wants to buy it, we will sell it. We have this. He's pretty funny. We have these things. We have index cards that we just write grocery lists on for the three of us because you just put like, hey, Dad, give me grapes, or the wife goes, I need tzatziki, give me some of that. So he started putting stuff on for all the fucking cool title ideas and log lines he has.
Yeah.
And so here's one that you might like. It's the reality show that I love, Below Deck. It's a show they just follow people around on super yachts, and it's all the drunken shit that happens. It's funny. And so I was saying, you really need to figure out a reality show, because if it hits, you can make 16 versions of it on the same network, and pretty soon Bravo TV is doing like they have. So everybody like this Below Deck, right? It's the adventures of what happens to the crew during these charters on a super yacht.
Yeah.
And so then everybody loved that, but you only shoot in that season, right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, well, we're doing Below Deck Mediterranean now with a different crew. It's the same idea, but it's a different thing. And then they did Below Deck Down Under with Captain Jason. He's the Australian guy, right? Now there's 3 fucking shows that you have to keep track of. And then people that work on the show will get, embarrassed or fucking kicked off of one show and end up on another show.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, well, Captain Sandy didn't like that you did this. And I'm like, yeah, I learned my lesson, and now I'm in your crew. So there's just this insatiable need for these things. And so they did this, that somebody had this brilliant idea over there that they do a thing called Winter House and Summer House. So whoever's not doing the ship stuff, they just do like a Big Brother kind of show with all the same people, right?
Yeah.
So if you like Alex, who is this cool male model guy who's, is he gay? He's really good looking. No, he just fucked 4 girls at once, but you follow that because you saw what happened when he had a fight with the chef on this other show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said to Walker, man, come up with something like that. He goes, oh, that's easy. And like off the top of his head, he goes, it's called The Home. And it's about all these old people, like people's grandparents' age, 70s and 80s. And you just follow them around in their home because it's a giant dormitory. It's just everybody's old. So it's like, well, Dave just gave all the old ladies syphilis, because everybody's having unprotected sex, because who cares? They're going to die in 3 months.
I'd put a nap count, right? And just like watch these guys, like how many times they've taken naps throughout the day. Like, oh, nap number 7.
There you go. See, like you get it instantly, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Apple would buy that. I hope you're talking about Walker's atypical zombie thing and not The Home, because I hope no one puts that out into the world.
No, E would buy it.
Walker will probably buy Bravo by 2032. I will tell you something, Matt. This is not a secret, and you could probably figure it out. But Walker just wants to write. And then the other day he goes, you know what? I don't want to direct, but I think I'd be a pretty good producer. And I just went, uh-oh, you know what happens once you get to be a pretty good producer? He goes, what? I'm like, well, the end of that story is you're a studio head. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have my own mini major. And the second he said that, I was like, I know that's going to happen. I'm not going to see it because you'll probably be about 55 when that happens. But fuck yeah, man. Because if you have that thought when you're 17, I want to run my own mini major. Like, what? Who talks like that? Give me a break.
Have you guys watched The Studio?
Yeah, we're only about 2 episodes into that. It stresses him out because he doesn't want Hollywood to be so fucked up.
Well, yeah.
Shivers is like, I'm not. I wasn't either when he said that. Hilarious. All right, let's rock out of here. We're not doing Confess Fletch. We're doing that zombie movie. I got to write that down.
Dead Don't Die.
Dead Don't Die. It's official. It's going on the index card.
Sweet.
I've been lettering Walker's here. I'm gonna show you what I'm working on. Walker's trade paperback. Let's see. There you go. Oh, it's a werewolf. Fucking
Sweet.
werewolves. All right, man. Thanks for having some laughs with me. I'm glad you liked Tarantino. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad I got the push to finally watch it.
Yeah.
But what took me so long?
Man, I want you threw me off. We'd end the stream. What took you so long? All right, man. See you next week. Thanks very much. That was a blast. Thanks everybody. It was fun chatting with you guys, and Larry's been trying to end this for 20 minutes. I really have. All right. Good night.
Good night.